What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here from Nerd Takes, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the success we're seeing with Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, this movie is very likely on its way to making $1 billion at the box office, so I think it's a fair time to take a look at the success that it's having and what it might mean for the MCU going forward. Now, obviously, this movie is experiencing some undeniable success at the moment, which has raised a few important questions that are being asked, which I'd like to give my take on. The first question that I've been hearing is, can this movie save the MCU? My answer to that is no, it can't. Now, a lot of people are asking this question, and some are taking the stance of this being the movie that saves the MCU. But I think that that's an unfair amount of responsibility to put on any one individual film. Saving the MCU isn't something that one movie can do on its own because, generally speaking, it has no effect on what the next movie or streaming show is. Now, I really enjoyed this movie personally, and I think it was a nice return to form for not only the MCU, but superhero movies as a genre. But what effect could it possibly have on something like Agatha All Along? I mean, none really. It's an entirely separate thing. And we've already seen an example of this with Spider Man No Way Home, which crossed the $1 billion mark for the MCU. And then the line of movies that came after it, which began the current run of failures that have not performed well at the box office, minus a few movies like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for example. Some of the problems that the MCU has is overall directions and where they want to take the universe, character choices in terms of who they want to give shows and movies to, and of course, writing. Now, this movie being good doesn't really have any effect on projects that have already been completed, which are due for release, and the general quality of those projects. I think that the better way to look at this is, will this movie signal a change for the MCU and get them to go back to how they used to make movies? Which I do think is possible, but it's still something where I'll have to wait and see. The next question I've heard a lot is, does this movie disprove the idea of superhero fatigue? Now, this one is a little bit more complicated to answer. In a way, I do think that, like any genre, the best days of superhero movies are at least behind us for now. I think that many bad movies in a row from the genre have really weakened the interest in them among the majority of moviegoers. However, I do think that the larger issue has been bad movie fatigue. And what I mean by that is people are just flat out tired of bad movies, which is most of what the MCU has given fans in phases 4 and so far in 5 as well. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine, on the other hand, shows us that there is still a lot of interest in seeing this style of movie when it's done right. And with so many of these movies being bad, I don't think it's any coincidence that audiences have collectively stopped going to see these films. So, as much as there may be some degree of fatigue with the genre, I do think that it's much more about people not wanting to go see bad movies than it is superhero movies themselves. Now, of course, this is just my opinion on the matter, so we will have to wait and see what kind of effect the success of this movie has in terms of those who are in charge of the future of the MCU. But I do hope that they are at least paying attention to this film and the way it's been received by fans. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again soon.